Hi, it's great to speak with you both. Congratulations on this very fun and vibrant series. We're excited for everyone to see Boss Baby back in the crib. My first question is for you, Brandon. You went from writing on Boss Baby Back in Business and Get the Baby. Now that you're the executive producer and showrunner, can you tell us a little bit about what is it about the franchise that made you want to stay and
Sure. It's the characters. It's always any project that I go into. I have to be in love with the characters because I'm going to be spending years with them. And it was the same way with this. I loved working with the whole cast and the whole ensemble of characters in the first Boss Baby series back in business. Um, and then when I saw what they were doing with the movie sequel with Family Business, I fell in love with Tina, fell in love with Tabitha, with Tim as an adult, with Carol, and just knew that they had their own stories to tell, and knew that there were more and different places to go, and new effects that they would have on Boss Baby to make him a different character as well. So he wasn't just kind of, well, I'm just the same thing that I've been for a whole other series, 4 seasons. There was going to be new ground for him too.
so my next question is for JP.
Mhm.
Even as a voiceover actor, voice actor, what part of you is in Theodore? Or is there a part of you that's a part of Theodore?
Yeah, no, there's um I like to think that we both have exceptional taste. I think I am a little more work-life balanced than he is. I'm probably a little more life leaning than he is. My partner is the one who's way more work. I'm way more life. Um and but yeah, but I do get those moments where I'm working on a project and it just becomes like, blinders and just, hyper focused on the one thing. So I feel that with him. His wit, like, I've always been proud of being somebody that could kind of like just come in with a zinger, and he is so good at a zinger.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a bunch that he's admirable in some ways.
So, Brandon, you are a man of many talents. You have a very extensive background. One thing I did notice, yes, was that you were a military brat. My husband is actively serving in the Army, and I have two military brats of my own. And I know, having seen them grow as military kids, that they're very special kids, and the experiences that they live through are or will probably definitely carry through, come through in life. Is there something that you recall from being a military kid that is carried on into adulthood for you?
Yeah, two that I would say. One, even among military brats, we were kind of outliers in the amount of times that we had to move.
Mhm.
I think I lived in a at least a dozen places before I graduated high school. And that's various U.S. states outside of the United States, a couple of times.
Mhm.
And so you have to learn adaptability because you're just constantly thrust into, well, this is a new school. How are things done here? What's the slang? How do people talk? That's been great as a writer of just
Nice.
because my whole life was learning how to get into the voice of somebody else.
I love it.
But then beyond that, as a father, I had a great dad, and he, the job. The job has you gone a lot. Um, and just to see the amount of effort and time that he put into, and I was not in a small family either. I'm third of 7 kids.
Right.
So the amount of time that he put into know when I walk in this door or when we're on the phone, the hat comes off, the rank comes off, and I'm your dad and I'm going to spend time with you. Really taught me a lot about how to approach my own kids, and how to make sure that they knew that they were more important to me than being an executive producer on a show. Much less important job, but also with its few responsibilities.
So, JP, you lend your voice to a lot of really amazing characters. And as I mentioned to Brandon, we are a military family, and my 15-year-old is actually embarking on voiceover lessons.
Hmm.
Yeah. Could you give me some tips that I could share with him?
Talk him
And
out of it. Get him out now.
right.
No, 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 no. Well, first of all, thank you, your husband, for his service. I so
Absolutely.
appreciate that. Um, I think it's establishing. I teach as well, and I think what I tell my students a lot is start by establishing your sandbox.
Okay.
What are the characters you can play, and find those different elements of your voice, whether it's the placement of, when I was in college, I got a BA. It was a liberal arts. I don't say that disparagingly.
Same, same.
But I took a lot of general education courses, and a lot of those helped me more than some of my drama classes. For instance, I took phonology, which is all about like the different parts of your vocal tract.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was able to kind of be able to pinpoint, like, oh, if I place the sound here, or I place it here, or like, feel where that buzz is, you
Mm-hmm.
can create different voices, or like when you do this, or like, all sorts of different things. So exploring your voice, finding what those different things are, and sort of mapping out what the borders of the sandbox you play in are.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have an awareness of what you can do and what you can't do safely, because you don't
Mm-hmm.
want to hurt this,
Right.
um, you go in with a greater advantage than a lot of people. And people appreciate the confidence of you knowing, like, this is what I can do, this is what I can play.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about how we can get that to work, and agents and casting directors respond to that, as opposed to being like, I don't know, I just want to voice cartoons.
Right.
um
So,
so yeah, that's where I would start.
so for both of you, what is one thing that you want families to come away with after watching the series?
Well, I hope that if there's anything, it's being there for each other, and that starts with being aware of each other. There's a lot of, without getting into spoilers, there's a lot of things that Boss Baby especially is just not noticing for a long time in this series that are pretty important to other characters and to their feelings, and there's a lot of hurt feelings that happen because of that lack of communication. And if watching this show helps, parents and kids be a little bit more aware of each other and where we're all coming from, that's a win I would gladly take.
I love it. What about you,
Yeah.
JP?
And I think exploring your relationship to work, and what that balance is. And this show shows a few different relationships to work that people have, and um and trying to balance it in a way that you can create time for your family and create time for communication. Yeah.
So, what has been for both of you one of the coolest experiences since being a part of the Boss Baby franchise?
I mean, it's the people. Honestly, it's getting to know this group of people and the casts of both the previous series and this one. Um, Getting to know Pierce Gagnon, the younger Tim, getting to meet Alex Cazares, who is a murderess of a voice actor. Um, and meeting her when she was just kind of starting out, and now like she's on so many shows and working so much. It's just like, I mean, she's a monster. She's amazing. Um, and just so many awesome I mean, the guest stars that we've had come in that have just been really cool, and getting to meet them, and then just like the people who work on the show, everybody from Brandon to Lisa Schaefer, who's our director, and she's amazing. To Ben Bromfield and Ryan, who are composers, and on the rare occasion I've had to sing a song, they're the guys that kind of like march us through it, and they're amazing. And all the writers, like it's just a good group of people. And more than anything, I think if there's anything that I have missed on this series is not being able to kind of have the in-person interaction that we usually do. But there'll be a cast party, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the same answer for me. I mean, we there's this magical thing that happens the first time you start bringing in the actors. to record the scripts, you start seeing what they do so well, and the writing and the acting start coming together in ways that just can't happen when you're just writing into a void. When you're just making up characters, it now becomes somebody real, and this amazing alchemy happens, and we make gold out of JP plus me.
I love it. Well, thank you. We're excited for everyone to see Boss Baby. Thank you.
Thank you. Great meeting you.